Awasheni. Now, the new Minister of Basic Education, Siviwe Gwarube, finds herself catching a wake-up call just a few weeks into office. She got a pushback from the unions. Many people are not happy with her appointment at basic education. Now, Siviwe has to choose. Does she serve the interests of the teachers? Does she improve the standard of basic education for the poorest of the poorest? Or does she toe the party line? Now, I have told you guys that many DA ministers are going to go into their ministries not to do their job, but to go and check the wrongs that the ANC has committed in the past. Is she going to be any different? Let's talk about that and much more.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Blackheart, the hustle continuer. Made to inspire your goals and dreams. 100% good quality clothes are now available at affordable prices. T-shirts, hoodies, sweaters, bucket hats, and more. Place your orders now. 06847366908. Instagram Black7576. Facebook page Blackheart.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, King 053, Mr. Easy Imali Neng, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, I'm just touching on our new Minister for Basic Education. I've seen this story make rounds, and I'm like, oh my goodness. There she goes, making the mistake that many black DA members made in the past and paid for dearly. What am I talking about? DA members, especially in the leadership role, go into the DA with this notion that South Africa is better if we can all work together, black or white, Indians and colors, everyone in one nice package and living in harmony and all of that. That is the delusion that the black leaders from the DA carry into the DA. But then quickly they realize that the DA is not a party that looks to adjust or correct or even recognize historical injustices to black people. So that's why you see in the Western Cape where the DA rules, where the rich and the white people stay, it's a different type of lifestyle compared to Elanga, compared to Ekalisha and other colored areas where people are living in squalor, poverty, the lowest amount of poverty you can get compared to Limpopo and everything. You also get it in the Western Cape. High crime rate, everything, the standard of living is very low. Now, the DA MPs that then get to become ministers, they get a confusion now because they got into the government of national unity thinking that this is a unified, we are now working together, hallelujah, all of those things, singing kumbaya. But the mandate that they were given is to attack the ANC and make sure that the DA looks good going into the 2026 elections, local election, and the 2029 national elections. That's the main objective for the DA. Push the agenda that the DA is doing a good job. If you cannot push that agenda, just go in every department and just point out the wrongs that the ANC has done, and that will work in our favor as an excuse in the future to topple the ANC out of power. That is what they are doing. But now also Siviwe, when she gets into office, she then gets a wake-up call to say, oh my goodness, it's not easy doing what the DA sent me here to do. If I'm here, I have to work with people. I have to sit down with people and understand why people don't like the DA and try to separate myself from the DA so that I can work with these people. Listen to what she said in an interview at Newsroom Africa.
I think often, and the big problem here is that often the two are mixed, whereas they should not be. When we're having an issue, when we're having a discussion about labor issues, that's separate. When we're having a discussion about how are teachers delivering a service to learners, that's a separate discussion. And also to say to them, my door is open. I will not have all the answers. This is why we need industry experts. This is why we need trade unions as partners. This is why all our stakeholders are important. And so I'm not coming here to deliver on a party mandate. I am the Minister of Basic Education. And that means that I have got 14 million learners that I've got to look after in across the country, in all 9 provinces. And so I think there shouldn't be a fear about which political party that I come from. The differences between the political parties are resolved in the GNU and in the political channels. They will not be resolved and tussled with in the platform that is the department. The department must work and it must deliver its core mandate, and that is to serve the learners of this country. And so I think there's absolutely nothing to worry about. But of course, Iman, I can understand. Change is difficult. My predecessor was in this department for 15 years. And so change is difficult. I am younger. I am fresher. I do have different ideas about how we can really boost the system. But I'm not here to, purge, or I'm not here to fight political battles. And so I welcome the engagement with SATU in a couple of weeks when I'm meeting with other stakeholders.
So we are looking at two things here. We are either looking at a person that is a good actor and can lie, or we are looking at a person, in my case, I think that is getting into their realization of how difficult running a ministry is. Basic education is not a small ministry. It's not a small ministry, and it impacts and affects mostly the poorest of the poorest in our country. So now you're going to find also SATU, the teachers union, fighting with you because of the condition, the working conditions are not suitable for them. You know, teachers get shot in South Africa, teachers get stabbed, teachers find themselves with sexual misconduct and all of those things. There's just so many things happening in the working environment for teachers from elementary, what do they call it, preschool, up to grade 12. There's so many things that are happening there. So as a minister, you have to speak best to those challenges of those teachers, and not only looking at the teachers. Then you have to look at the environment of learning where the students are. We know many students are suffering in South Africa. In provinces like the Eastern Cape, you still find children falling into pit toilets. How are you going to change that? You're going to find children traveling by foot to school, and there's so many things. And then you dive into children's conduct. Abusing teachers, children abusing each other. There's so many things that you do, but mostly the basic education minister is dealing with social problems that affect the learning environment, and that forces you to go back and try to fix the black community, the black poor community. And you cannot do that job if you have the mentality of the DA. And Siviwe is quickly realizing that if I come with the attitude of the DA here, I'm not going to get anything done. So if she can't get anything done, like I said, she then has to go and fish what Angie Motsecha did wrong for the past 15 years and point that out. Now, it's difficult here. She will have to review tender documents. She will have to do a lot of work just to find the faults that Angie did. And Angie did not do a fantastic work, but she did a okay-ish type of a job. She she barely passed. But one of the mistakes that Abu Angie did is to take the pass mark from 40%, I believe, to 30%. What? Yo, Abu Angie. So if I was the minister, I would take it back up and rather have quality instead of quantity, because that quality, when it gets back to the market, you're having issues, and you have that problem that the children that start matric, when they I believe 40% of them that start grade 1 don't get to matric. So that's another staggering number that Gwarube has to fix. So I just want to know from you guys, do you think statement in terms of her saying that she's not there to push the political agenda, party agenda, she's there to do work with the people, she's open to engagements with the unions and stuff like that, do you think that is good? And also, do you think that she will be punished for that? Because we know every leader in the DA that tried to fix the social economic problems of black people got kicked out. That's what Musi Maimane understood when he was the president of Democratic Alliance. He understood that I can't change the lives of colored and black people. Once I start touching on those things, once I start questioning appointments and all of that, I get kicked out. The same happened with Herman Washaba. All of them are saying racism is the reason why they left the DA, and all of them pointing out the president of South Africa, which is Helen Zille. They're all pointing to Helen to say, Helen is, when Helen wants you out, you are out. She's the president of the country, and she's the president of the Democratic Alliance. Now, with the African Queen, we as Pan-Africanists are always, our door is always open for coconuts to come back. There's no other way to say it. I'll try to say clever blacks or something. But coconuts, you understand. Those who are brown outside, but inside they try to portray themselves as white people. Or their actions is like of white people. So they find themselves coming back to black parties or starting their own party or whatever the case can be. So our door is always open for forgiveness for any African child that loses the way and then comes back. Our door is always open. So we will welcome this type of people back, because they will quickly realize that the DA is not a place where you go if you want to fix the problems of black people. And as the Minister of Basic Education, she's going to find out very quickly. There's so many things that she can do to change that department. So many things, but those things are going to cause her to improve the quality of black lives, and the DA will not allow that, because the DA will keep on asking her, what did you find out? What did Angie do? What can we say? What can we publish? What can you, because that will work in the favor of the DA when it comes to the 2029 elections. And that's the end goal. The DA is aiming to become the biggest party in South Africa come 2029, because the ANC will never see 40% again in their lives. ANC will never see 30% in their lives. So many things have to go right for the ANC to see 40%. There's this VBS issue that's coming out that implicates Floyd Shivambu and Julius Malema. There has to be a case there for the EFF to be weaker. And again, they have to pray that Jacob Zuma does not reach 2029. If Jacob Zuma is still alive in 2029, there is no other political party that is going to beat the MK. I promise you. That's a promise. That's a promise. So you guys give me your thoughts on the comment section. What do you think about the African Queen? We're wishing her the best, even though she's in a party that we don't favor because she's African. We say maybe she can do the right thing. Maybe room for just a room for them to come back. You know what I'm saying? So until we meet again, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.